Hello handcrafters, let's make one of my activated charcoal soap bars. So we're going to start out with all of our tools. So I got my stick blender, my thermometer, my silicone spatulas, I have the lye solution, and we're just going to be doing a separate container for the activated charcoal. So I have a separate pour container for that. I'm going to check the temperatures to make sure they are under 120, and they are. So we'll start out with adding my additives, which is I always add kaolin clay and colloidal oatmeal to all of my soap bars, or I shouldn't say all, but most of my soap bars, especially the ones that I end up selling. I always add those things to them. I add them to the oils and I mix them by stick blending them there because I don't want to reach trace any earlier than I need to. So I go ahead and put it in the oil so I can stick blend to my heart's content. I add the kaolin clay for a nice slip, smooth feel, plus it makes the scent last longer. And then I add the colloidal oatmeal for gentle exfoliation. I think it's just always good to have colloidal oatmeal in like all of my soap bars. So I'm going to mix to like a thin trace, and then I am going to take my activated charcoal. What I usually do is go ahead and put a teaspoon of that in there. I usually mix it with the oil prior, but this time I forgot. So I just put the activated charcoal in there, and I'm just going to mix it until it's fully incorporated. I only do like a half a teaspoon to a teaspoon because I want to make sure the lather remains pretty white. I don't want it to be a black or dark lather. So my activated charcoal looks gray, but once it cures, it gets darker because I do force it to go through gel phase. So it does become a darker black color. It looks more like activated charcoal, like a darker activated charcoal, I should say. And I love using a fork to texture the top, but you can texture it in any way that you like. There's plenty of creative ways to do it. You can use a fork, a spoon, a knife. You can just swirl the top, because actually this looks really good when you just swirl the top. That's what I used to do when I first started making this soap, but for some reason I am so addicted to this fork, y'all. So I always have my little fork marks on the side, and then I take the thermometer and I just kind of do like a little wavy thing in the middle to make sure that it's not like too 3D. It's kind of smooth. So I really like texturing my tops like that. And here's a close-up of that. And I sprayed isopropyl alcohol on top of it, and then I covered it. I let it sit for about 48 hours and it was still somewhat soft. I don't use sodium lactate in my soap bars anymore. I do use table salt sometimes, but in this particular bar I did not do that, and I would use the table salt as a substitute for the sodium lactate to make the bars a little bit harder when it comes to unmolding them, because it was still soft. But you can see it is a darker color, and that's just 48 hours later. So imagine after it cures. So thank you guys for watching. If there's anything in specific or in particular that you would like to see, please comment below. And for now, black hands are out. Bye bye, guys.